Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome to Red Bull LAN Orlando. We are here at Full Sail University, and we have got 3 days of awesome pro gaming training action for you guys. Over the course of these 3 days, we're going to see StarCraft 2 and Halo champs battle it out to try to improve their game for upcoming competitions next weekend. We've got a lot of different challenges set up for these guys, and we should really have just a great show for you over the course of the next 3 days. I'm really excited to kick things off, so make some noise because this is the start of Red Bull LAN Orlando.
Gamers with different styles and different strengths come from all around the world to train at the Red Bull LAN Orlando. Though you'll get to see action from all 12 players, we'll be highlighting the stories of 4 pros. From America and Team Liquid, the Zerg player Chef. From Sweden and Team Mouse Sports, the Terran player Thorzane. From Team Liquid, the Dutch player Rhett. From Team Mouse Sports, the German player Hasuabs. Personally, Full Sail University has been amazing to Day 9 TV and Red Bull, providing the venue for the event. Red Bull Gaming and Day 9 TV present Red Bull LAN Orlando. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Red Bull LAN, where we are here live finally after weeks and weeks of preparation, where once again tournaments are abundant in the StarCraft 2 space and the esports space on the whole, but here at the Red Bull LAN we get the chance to watch the pros train. It can often be such a mystery to figure out how those pros got so good and where they managed to get those skills, and we're going to get a chance to take a sneak peek at that. And a lot of those pros who you thought were completely indestructible, turns out that there's plenty that they have to work on and plenty that they'll be working on throughout the weekend. There will be 4 players that we'll be focusing on throughout this event. They are the focus players for Red Bull LAN Orlando. From Team Liquid, we have Chef and Rhett. From Team Mouse Sports, we have Thorzane and Hasuabs, and each of these players are going to get the chance to learn a little bit more about in depth throughout the event. But in particular, these 4 players each have a custom-made challenge designed specifically to target some of the big weaknesses that they're working on for some upcoming tournaments. Before we end up kicking into some of those challenge games and seeing some of the practice matches from the other 12 players at the event, let's hop on over to DJ Wheat at the esports sofa, so that way he can give us an insight into the 2 focus players we'll be looking at today, Thorzane and Chef.
Thanks, Sean. Today we're going to be focusing on 2 of the focus players, just like Sean mentioned. Of course, we've got Liquid Chef over here and Mouse Thorzane. And I'm going to start with you, Chef, because you're going to be first up. We'll talk a little bit specifically about your challenge, but how are you feeling going into this on day 1?
Pretty comfortable. That's the nice thing about not having like a huge tournament this weekend. It's to improve, and I mean you can relax when you improve, because I mean I have nothing else I'm really worried about, right?
Well, and although the official training has not yet begun, I saw you doing some work and putting in some time with Morrow. It seems like you're definitely taking full advantage of what we've got going on here.
It's really, really nice to have all these people from all over the world here. No latency issues because we're all here. It's great.
Excellent, excellent. So, Thorzane, let's talk with you a little bit. We'll be going more into specifics about your challenge here shortly, but how are you feeling about the training exercise and even some of the practice that you've got here today?
Well, I feel really great because there's so many great players here, so we can share thoughts and just talk about the game in general and come up with some really cool things, hopefully.
Now, go back to you, Chef, just a little bit. What do you want to achieve at this particular event? Like, what would be the best case scenario for you leaving this event and going into the competition next week?
The best case scenario is leaving this, going to MLG and winning it. I want that sort of thing, and let's try and get it.
I ask you the same question, Thorzane. You know, traditionally boot camping before event is something that has been, you know, around for a long time. But this is sort of like boot camping to the extreme. So as far as your goals for this weekend, what would you like to walk away from?
Kind of like Sheth, I would walk away from this, win MLG, but then win a bunch of more tournaments as well.
All right, so Thorzane going for the one-up, saying well beyond. So, guys, we've got a lot of fans tuned in today as well. Very excited to see you guys partake in a sort of a different type of journey that's not a tournament. Before we get started, anything that you'd like to say to all those folks out there?
Try some Red Bull if you haven't already. They're hosting us here, and we appreciate it.
Excellent. Thorzane?
Well, just I hope they will have a blast. That's all.
Awesome. I have one final question before we shoot it back over to Sean. Here at Full Sail University, I've been totally blown away. There were some tours earlier. What do you think of what we've got going on here at Full Sail?
It's went past my expectations. It's really, really nice here. I love it. It's great. You have to be here to experience the full thing, but if you're watching at home, just know you're missing out.
And if you are watching at home, it's open for all 3 days, so come on down to Full Sail University and check it out. What do you think, Thorzane, Full Sail?
I haven't seen much of it, but from what I've seen, it's been great so far.
Awesome. Well, guys, we're going to send you on your way here in just a moment. Let's shoot it back over to day 9 at the desk.
Thanks so much, Sean, Marcus, and Marcus, for that wonderful interview piece. And, of course, again, special thanks to Full Sail University, where it sounds like we have a whole bunch of people who've joined us today. How are you all feeling? How wonderful. How cool is it that these people just showed up to watch training happen all day? And for any of you who are tuned in at home and wondering what's going to be happening, let's take a look at the schedule that we have planned for day 1 of the Red Bull LAN. As you can see, it is currently past 6 p.m. EST. You're right now watching the Red Bull LAN Orlando intro of the Focus players, and, of course, letting you know what this event is about. Skipping over down to 7 p.m., we have that challenge that we're going to go into, but up until we get Sheth in the central booth, we're going to be watching practice games starting actually probably even sooner than 6:30. We'll probably be starting it at maybe even 6:15, Marcus.
Excellent. Excellent. So let me ask you, Sean, can you give us an idea, like, is this to showcase some of the talent that's here, just kind of warm things up, get the crowd going? Like, what is the purpose here for this next hour?
Oh, yeah, the practice game is to let you know that there are tons of players here. There are 11 in total who have joined us today who are doing nothing but sparring against one another, just training, practicing, working on various kinks and weaknesses in their play. Maybe they have a build they want to smooth out. They're all getting the chance to do that. Though we'll be focusing on those 4 players, we didn't want to cut you out of all the awesome talent here.
Exactly, and there is some great talent. I mean, in addition to the focus players, the training partners, and I've kind of been making this sort of relation all day, is that it would be like a boxer training for a matchup, and instead of just bringing in the guys that he's going to spar with, it's like, let's bring in every champion that we could possibly find. It doesn't matter what weight class, or let's just bring them in and let them practice. And that's what I feel like. There is some amazing, amazing talent here. So we are going to be in a treat all 3 days.
And as we pop back into the schedule, we see that at 7 p.m. we get the chance to start Sheth's Challenge, where you're going to learn who Sheth is, specifically what he's going to be practicing, and then watch him as he trains those games. Same up with Thorzane at 9 to 11 p.m. And most importantly of all, Marcus, do you know what's happening at 11 p.m.?
11 p.m. Fun Day Monday!
On a Friday?
Yeah, how's that work exactly?
Well, it's going to be a team mono battles of Sweden versus Korea. Oh, man. It totally doesn't help with training, but it's kick-ass.
It's going to be awesome. There's
extreme.
No doubt about that.
Now, before we hop into those practice games, let's talk a little bit about the first focus player of the day who will be coming up at 7, Sheth. Let's talk a little bit about Sheth's Challenge.
All right, well, Sheth's Challenge is, you know, pretty simple and straightforward, and I think this is actually a challenge for mini Zerg players today. Sheth is really trying to find that comfortable play style, and we've seen a lot of Prodosses go for that open air and expand. Is it just Stargate, Nexus, or, you know, just early air pressure? You know, JYP's here. He's one of those guys that really likes to do that. And that's something that Chef has some problems with. Of course, then transitioning to a third base. So a lot of good stuff to work on.
Yeah, Chef, in a sense, his goal is that he's very comfortable in the matchup on the whole. In fact, it is his highest win rate matchup if you check the Team Liquid Pro Gamer database. I think it's around 63% lifetime. However, recently that style's been getting to him, so he's been trying to work on that. Thorzane's challenge, on the other hand, is a completely different type of practice. He is trying to change the way that he plays the Terran versus Zerg mid-game by being a lot more aggressive.
Yeah, and I mean, Thorzane has always, you know, he's known his strengths and weaknesses for a very long time. And I think that this is going to be a great opportunity for Thorzane to just really kind of focus all that energy with these great players and not have a major competition behind it. You know, the competition comes next week. Now it's time to fix some of those mistakes, figure out how you can improve your game, etc. And I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say that Thorzane is going to come out of this with some very good practice and some good results.
You know, I want to even drop this little bit of knowledge right before we end up hopping into a practice match. Thorzane said that his slow, methodical style is not because he's very patient, is not because he likes to plan and not give any edge. It's because he literally said he gets scared when he gets to the middle of the map. He gets so uncomfortable that he doesn't want to push. He's scared of the counterattack. He's scared of being caught with his tanks out of position and losing to Banelings. And it's so funny because, you know, when you watch Thorzane play, hell, when anyone watches Thorzane play, you think, that man knows exactly what he's doing.
Exactly.
He is an indestructible being of badassery. And as it turns out, one of the central core aspects of his play style is totally motivated by his own fear, something he's trying to conquer today.
And that's not something that we necessarily see in that play. So, you know, all the great interviews that'll take place over the weekend where we get to actually talk to them and get an idea about what their mental state is in these games and in these challenges, I'm really excited.